Hello everyone, welcome to Voice of the Wild, a podcast initiative by Naturalist Foundation. With this podcast, we bring you closer to the world of wildlife conservation, scientific research and government environmental policies. I am Debolina, your host for today. The title for today's podcast is fairly broad and may get you thinking about the possibilities of matters that could emerge today. To give you an idea, I will be discussing a few of many instances where ignorance and failure to acknowledge critical matters has and is playing a role in jeopardizing our Earth's biodiversity. Most of us have heard this expression and even used it ourselves, in situations where we don't want to get involved or because the subject does not interest us. In today's world, this thought might not be befitting. Let's see why. We all know the importance of plants, from providing food, oxygen, medicinal benefits for organisms and humans, to being an integral part of the biogeochemical, hydrologic, carbon, and nitrogen cycles. They create diverse habitats suitable for different species, and we humans depend on them for various products. Native species of plants are best suited for our climate and fauna, which is why, if planted, they flourish beautifully and if cut down, cause harmful impact on the surrounding habitats. Exotic plants are those that do not naturally occur in a region unless introduced and proliferate rapidly. They may be aesthetically pleasing but aren't beneficial for the species inhabiting the area. These plants invade and compete with the natural flora, causing negative impacts on the ecosystem and the economy. Although not all exotic species are harmful and were introduced as early as the 1800s and 1960s, still today approximately 200 invasive plant species disrupt the equilibrium of our ecosystem. Plant species like the eucalyptus and acacia threaten parts of mountain ranges of the Western Ghats. Water hyacinths in Kerala and the notoriously popular invasive species Latana camara and Prosopis juliflora invade many nature reserves in India. Terms like afforestation, reforestation, and eco-restoration tend to keep surfacing in wildlife and environment-associated articles. These can be seen as remedies to treat problems like deforestation and fragmentation of forest land covers. But reforestation and other plans don't have a 100% recovery, since man-made forests will never be able to capture the natural biological essence of the ecosystems. And small saplings planted would take a long time to grow and together form a niche, conceding that they are systematically managed. Also, we are not fully aware of the fact that many of these exotic species of plants are periodically planted with the label of reforestation. Moving on to fauna, especially entomofauna of India, which includes an abundance of different insect species living in just about any habitat, from terrestrial land to snow-covered mountains and hot deserts, and even in freshwater ecosystems. Still, according to scientists, insect numbers are plummeting, and the reasons as to why these organisms are in danger aren't new to us. Factors such as natural habitat conversions brought about by humans for agricultural or industrial purposes, deforestation, and the use of insecticides endanger the populations of insect species. Also, climate change plays a major role by suddenly altering habitats in terms of extreme weather conditions. The intensity of temperatures and the frequency of these changes are likely to increase. The decline could be the cause of our ecosystem collapsing. Since all species, ecosystems, and their genetic compositions are closely interlinked, a single break would disrupt this chain of life. We fail to acknowledge their value and beauty while staring at a beautiful flower that has blossomed in the garden, courtesy of insects. For instance, caterpillars, which are essentially the larvae of lepidopterans like butterflies and moths, are mostly treated as pests that damage many plants that are food sources for humans. However, the butterflies and moths they grow into are important pollinators necessary for plants to bear fruit, which humans consume. Don't let their numbers deceive you, because many insects of the planet have not even been discovered yet. and studied in great depth. Every individual's interest could develop into a concern, a will to learn, and then spread awareness to conserve our planet's species. Going on to the platform from where we get all kinds of information, media. Media comes in multiple formats: various news outlets on television, the internet, audio-visual media, print media, and social media influence the mass public's opinions, especially when first hand information is not accessible to an individual. Every age group is familiar with different media platforms which are used for keeping up with the current affairs and communicating opinions with others. Since the internet can be accessed by any individual to read and create matter, we could stumble upon data and statistics that may or may not be accurate or fact based, hence opening Pandora's box. Without media, dispersal of knowledge, communication, and learnings from different perspectives of life would not be possible. This is why it plays a crucial role, and its misuse or inaccurate reporting is likely to cause considerable harm. When it comes to reporting environmental and wildlife issues that hold scientific facts, it is imperative to systematically lay down the foundation and build the story without leaving out any fact, because missing information could lead to incomplete knowledge on the matter, a misunderstanding occurs in no time, and spreads like wildfire. In some cases, the effects of an incident are highlighted while the causative elements are de emphasized. For example, let's take the infamous case of the pregnant elephant in Kerala who died after consuming a pineapple that was tampered with by adding firecrackers inside. The media coverage of the matter was quick and the news traveled across India even faster. The elephant's death triggered many people to post, tweet, and talk about their take on the matter, while some individuals lost focus from the main issue of cruelty towards wildlife and started a misleading hate campaign. The report stated the effects of the cruel act, but did not talk about what caused the people to become intolerant and take this big step instead of informing officials or conservationists working towards mitigating conflict. Points like what causes these conflicts to occur, the destruction of human habitation and livelihood that brings about such revenge killings, were not highlighted. In short, the story was left incomplete. This podcast would not be complete without us talking about indigenous and ethnic people and their sustainable cultures. From the very beginning of civilization, indigenous tribes have lived a sustainable life within areas of extremely rich biodiversity in harmony with the natural flora and fauna. This has been possible because they respected nature and understood the importance of maintaining equilibrium. Their way of life and traditional knowledge is about interrelationships between the community and the environment. They have relied on their knowledge systems and traditions that have been refined through many generations of practices and observations. With increasing modernization and deforestation, they are being forced to live their life differently and alter their traditions to survive in this extending concrete jungle. The increase in endangered species puts their life at risk too. Knowledge is not just academic. Indigenous knowledge has evolved from being and living in the same biodiversity for many years together. Respect for that traditional ecological knowledge, unlocking opportunities to learn from people who continue to live close to these magnificent landscapes, is an opportunity for all of us humans to boost our knowledge of what is happening with this planet and work towards changing our hazy future on Earth. These subject matters just make up the tip of the iceberg. Other serious issues lie underneath the water surface. We need to start diving deeper into the waters and recognize the threats and find solutions to improve the health of our own biological diversity. And come to think of it, ignoring any of these important problems going on around the entire planet will not get us perfect happiness. I hope you all enjoyed the podcast. Please like, share, and subscribe to stay updated. Do support us on Patreon so that we can produce more informative content for you all and show appreciation towards our young group working hard to provide content. Link is mentioned in the description. Thank you and see you next time.